Welcome to the lesson on integrating CSS into your Dreamweaver page and how to get that in there now that we have the HTML in Dreamweaver and we've created a full HTML page. This is part one. We're going to learn how to create inline and internal styles, and then we will get to how to create an actual CSS page, because when you're coding in CodePen, your CSS is separate from your HTML. And so we want in the end to have that CSS be separate. The reason we want to do that is because we want changes to be made and cascade throughout the page. So if I create a paragraph here and I then create another paragraph here, if I go to my CSS, because it is technically an external CSS that is being pulled in, it cascades throughout. So if I create a change for my paragraph, like color is purple, you'll see both of the paragraphs will change. If I wanted an inline style and I wanted it only to one paragraph, I would have to do that a little bit differently. This is a cascading style sheet, which means that it will cascade across all paragraph tags it finds and apply the same style. That's what you want in the long run, because it saves you lots of time and energy, because not only can this CSS be linked to this page, but it can be linked to any page. So if you make a change to the body on one page of your site, you can make the change on all the pages. So for instance, if I go to CNN.com, they have the same thing appearing up at the top here for their navigation. They usually also have the same thing appearing as their footer. Could you imagine when you make one change to this, like you add a new text link under opinion, having to go to every page in CNN.com's repertoire, all of these pages up here, every single one of these pages, and changing it in the bottom? Instead, you can make it cascade across. Like if you were to change all of these to be red. If you were to change these headings to red, you could have it cascade not only on this page, but on Europe's page. So when you go down to the footer on Europe, it would all be changed as well. Cascading style sheets are great because they save you lots of time and energy. So we want to create that inside of HTML and CSS for our Dreamweaver site. To start though, we're going to do inline and internal styles. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Dreamweaver, where we have our index from before. We're going to change the style of this paragraph too. To do that, you're going to start by going to the tag, and we're going to define a style in here. So I'm going to go into the paragraph opening tag, and I'm going to define that style by typing the attribute of style. Remember in HTML, when you want to do an attribute, you put it in the opening tag. You then type an equal sign and 2 quotation marks to be able to type within there and set the style equal to something. And then what's kind of interesting is at this point, the second you start using the style attribute or the style tag in HTML, once you're inside the value of that attribute, you get to start typing in CSS. So your syntax is changing mid-code. So for instance, I can go like color, colon, purple, semicolon, just like I would in CSS. And then I can hit refresh, and you'll see that the color of paragraph 2 has changed. That's an inline style. It's inline, it's on this paragraph and this paragraph alone. So I'm going to change this back to paragraph 1, and I'm going to go after the paragraph tag and create a new paragraph called paragraph 2. The reason I'm doing this and I'm refreshing my page is I want to show you that paragraph 1 is the only one that's purple. I can keep creating paragraphs, and even though they have the P tag for paragraph, none of them are going to be purple because only that style is applying to that line of code in this HTML file. So since that's the only style here, if I wanted paragraph 2 and 3 to be purple, I would have to take this whole style attribute, copy it, and paste it in each one of these to then make them purple. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and delete those. And I'm going to keep just the first one because I want you to be able to see it. And this time what we're going to do is create what's called an internal style sheet. So now we're going to create a style sheet rather than just one style for one line. I want you to think about, is the style something that the user needs to see, like the code of the style, or is it something that's affecting and manifesting on the page, but they don't necessarily need to see the code? So think about like when you want to run versus when you want to walk. You manifest running versus walking with your body. People see that, but your head tells you what you think in your brain is telling your body whether to walk or run. So the part about you thinking about whether or not you want to walk or run, telling your body parts what to do, is the CSS. It's what you want to happen and manifest on the page. So we want to put that in the head tag up here rather than on the body. So I'm going to go after the title tag here, and we're going to define a style. And we're going to use a style tag to do that. Just like we did down here for an attribute, style means style means style. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter in between to create a space for my style. And now that you have a style tag, this is where you can code your CSS. So I can go ahead and hit tab, and I can do like body, and I can do background color equals tan. And when I refresh, you will see the background color of my page will change. This is important because it cascades throughout the whole page. So what that means is if I call upon the paragraph tag and I make it have a font family of Arial, and I refresh my page, I will see that all the paragraphs on the page will be Arial. Something else I want to point out is that I've applied two styles to this first paragraph. I've applied a style through my internal style sheet, and I've applied a style through an inline style. The question is, which one is more important and which one will show and manifest on the page? So for instance, if I go inside my paragraph tag here and I change the color of paragraph to red and I refresh my page, the question is, will this paragraph 1 be red or purple? The answer is purple. And that's because our HTML and CSS file is red, top to bottom, left to right, which means whatever the last style is that applied to it is going to be the one we see. So the color red is being overridden by the color purple down in this inline style because it's the last thing the HTML file reads. And that's how you can change styles. Now what's important to note is anytime I now create a new paragraph, like paragraph 4, it will have the cascaded style of this inline style sheet. It will be Arial and red automatically because it's a cascading style sheet. It's inline though, or internal though, so that I couldn't apply this to other pages, and when I make a page, I would have to make a change on every page. So that's why we want external, which is what we're going to do in the next lesson.